This is Late Night Lee Talks TV. I'm Late Night Lee and I talk reality TV dating shows such as Married at First Sight, Love is Blind, Ready to Love, The Ultimatum, and Love Island, just to name a few. So if you enjoy that type of content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on when I upload a new video. Now let's get into Ready to Love Season 9 Fort Worth, Episode 2. Now, this season of Ready to Love is being done a little bit differently. Instead of introducing us to all 10 women and men at the same time, they split it up. So, episode 1, we had a mixer with 10 people, and episode 2, we have another mixer with 10 people. So, let's get into the 10 people that we met in the second mixer. So we will start with the women. We have Vanessa. She's a 35-year-old flight attendant, and she did let us know that she was previously married to someone who was white, and now that she is single, she wants to find black love because she is in her revolutionary era, and I guess she wants someone who understands the plight of a black person, and that's understandable. Some people may have a problem with that, feeling like, oh, you were with the white man before and now you're coming back to black men. But, let's give her some grace. We have Patricia next. She is a 35-year-old tech recruiter. And she did seem to have her guard up a little bit when it comes to dating. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. Next is Maya. Maya is a 30-year-old healthcare IT consultant. She's the youngest out of the girls here in this particular second group here. Next, we have Leylin. She is a 40-year-old cybersecurity consultant. And I thought it was interesting because she's from Sierra Leone. Now, I'm not sure if that was where she was born and raised or if her family is from there, but hopefully, maybe she gets into that a little bit more as the season goes on. Next is Rashina. Rashina was a 38-year-old salon owner with who is divorced and has 2 boys. And then we have Patrice. Patrice has a luxury car driving business, and she's previously married as well. So we had quite a few people in the cast who were married, and most of the men, I believe, were also married except for one. So let's get into the men. We had Alonzo. He's a 35-year-old insurance adjuster. He also has no kids, and I don't believe he was ever married. Next would be Chaz. Chaz is a 47-year-old data analytics manager. Next, he also is a divorcee, and he did have a child that sadly passed away at 6 months. So condolences to him for that. We had Jonathan. He's a 36-year-old recycling center owner. He was married before and has 1 child. And then we have Lamar. Lamar is a 42-year-old DJ. He is divorced as well. Now, as far as the women go, I will say that I felt like Leylin was the prettiest one. I felt like she just had like a very friendly, open disposition about her. As far as the guys go, Chaz was the only guy that I liked. Chaz did seem a little bit more mature. Yeah, but that is the best that I can say for the men. I feel like this show, for one, I will say this, and I did watch other reviews because I wanted to know what other people were thinking and just how I just want to make sure I wasn't tripping. But yeah, the other reviews that I have seen on YouTube, whether the reviews were from men or women, the general consensus was that the men, it's slim pickings. It's as though production can't really find, I feel like, the best batch of men. And I'll start with this. You're going to be on national television for the first time. You know that you're going to a mixer where you're going to be meeting multiple single women. Why would you not put on your best? Why would you not put on a suit? I don't understand it. I felt like there were a lot of guys from the first episode in the first batch that um, were dressed pretty casually, or they weren't dressed very well. Maybe about one or two. But this episode, most of the men looked like they were just going to a bar. It wasn't giving. It wasn't giving. I'm going to be on national television for the first time. I'm going to be dating multiple beautiful single women. If this is your best, then we have a problem. Also, the direction of the episode, it was so much about sex. And I know that we can mainly blame production for that, but a lot of these things were said to these women directly from these men's mouth right away. Alonzo, he said, "Oh, I describe myself." One of the ways he described himself as being a closeted freak. We don't need to know that. We don't need to know that right away. It's too much. You had Lamar sitting there asking the women spontaneously, "Oh, do you want to be spontaneous and just go skinny dipping? You want to go to a nude beach?" Like, why is this about taking off our clothes? How about who are you? What do you do? Lamar, he had a full beard. He was more on the darker skin side. He's a DJ and a coach. Okay, how often do you DJ? Do you have gigs on a daily or weekly basis? And what kind of coaching do you do? Are you, high school coach, college coach? Let's talk about that before we start going into these skinny dipping sexual conversations that to me are just unnecessary so soon. Now, I will say this. I know that they were there from the day until the night. And a lot of it could be production. So this heat is coming to production too. Because why were you guys showing so much about sex? We get into talking about sucking toes, and someone was into swinging. And it's like, what are we doing? How about who are you? What do you like to do for fun? Tell me about yourself. How long have you been single? Like, I don't need to know about your sexual preferences on day one. It shouldn't be a topic of conversation. And this goes to the cast and to production, because I know they did a lot of editing and they could have made it look this way. So they gonna get this heat too. They gonna catch this smoke too, because it was too much. And that was pretty much the general consensus, was that it was way too much sex talk for the first mixer, and the men were just not giving what they were supposed to have gave. It just wasn't. You have Jonathan talking about he learned, love or relationship stuff from watching Martin and Will Smith from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Those shows weren't about romance. They were comedies. Wait, what? What? No, that, like, you could have at least said watching romantic comedies. Maybe you learned to be romantic from that. Oh my God. Oh Lord. Alonzo, he referred to one of the women. Oh, she's light skinned and she got tattoos. Why are we talking about skin tone? Every woman there was beautiful. Why are we getting into that? Like, there was other women there that, okay, all right, that's what we're doing. I just wasn't impressed. And I did not like that when Tommy came, he immediately told everyone that the men had the power, because I felt like that changed the dynamics. So the men, they were just saying anything out of their mouths, and the women, because they didn't want to get sent home, they were pretty much giving pick me vibes. And I feel like the only women that wasn't given those kind of vibes were Vanessa and Patricia. And who was in the bottom two? Vanessa and Patricia. Now, Laylin, I feel like they didn't show her as much. So I don't feel like she was giving those vibes. But to me, Maya, Rashina, and Patrice, yeah, it was just like a chameleon. Like, oh, you like that? Oh, I love that too. Okay, you like that? I like that too. And it's like, I know that you guys are kind of like, I get it. You have to play the game a little bit. You've got to make sure you're on good terms with all the men. But to me, it did come across like, okay, so I know that you have the power to take me home. I mean, to send me home. So I'm going to just go along with whatever you say. Um, and that to me was just like, why? Like, I don't feel like they should have told them up front because it kind of made the men feel like, we got the power. So we're going to say anything that we want to say, knowing that we can't go home. I didn't like that at all. I did not like that at all. I feel like they should have told them this maybe like the last couple of hours, but letting the men know they had the power, they were very much acting like it, and it wasn't cool. It wasn't cool at all. Let's see. What do we have next? There was a challenge, of course, like episode one, and Maya won the challenge. And it was going down between Maya and Laylin, and Maya won, so she was safe from elimination. And when the men had they went to their men's lounge. It did seem like the majority of the men were feeling Laylin, and so that was good for her. But of course, there were some issues for Vanessa and Patricia. Now, Patricia had a conversation with Jonathan, and she was talking about, you know, her exes not really providing a safe space for her, and you know, it did seem like she just really and truly wasn't ready. She did seem a bit guarded, like someone who had been hurt before. And at the end of the day, we've all been hurt before. Everyone there was someone who was previously in a relationship, previously divorced. So everyone has been hurt before. However, I feel like, you know, those are not things that you want to talk about on the first, you know, in this particular show, because this is a dating competition. There's going to be 9 other women. So talking about like being guarded and having your guard up, I feel like that was too much, because now you you're making it to where, okay, in order for me to get to you, I gotta remove that wall. But there are 9 other women here whose walls are down, and they're ready, willing, and able. So unfortunately, that's what got her sent home. Vanessa, she did come across as not being very talkative to some people, and it was coming off a little bit weird. Maybe she just wasn't interested in talking to them, or you know but she did connect with Chaz, and that was super sweet. They had like a really good conversation. He did mention that he wanted someone more on the natural side, no lashes, no hair weaves, and things like that. So hey, maybe it will work. But I don't like when guys say that, because you're on television. Most women, if they know they're going to be on television, they're going to wear makeup for their first time, and a lot of times that will come with false eyelashes. So I don't understand why he would say that. Some false eyelashes, a lot of false eyelashes look really good, look more on the natural side. Some do look too gaudy and too crazy. Like, I don't feel like I saw anything too crazy on this episode when it came to the women and their eyelashes. But of course, they're going to, probably enhance a few things because they're on national television. You know, you know what? It did seem like all of the men were very much dressed down, all of them, including Chaz. But I just feel like, why not? And I don't think you need to wear a suit on every date. But the first one, why not come more? I don't know. Because you see, the women are always in their Saturday night vests, heels on high, bodycon, form fitting dresses for the most part. And the men, they're just like, I don't know. But I wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed. And to me, it was just like, it cannot be this difficult to find good quality men. But apparently it is. It is for Ready to Love. Because when you watch shows like The Bachelorette and you have all these men, when they get into the house for the first time, they are always wearing a suit. So, why not dress to impress? I just wasn't a fan of it. I thought it's just a little bit lazy, lackluster. It just wasn't really giving. It just wasn't. The only person that I liked in regard to the men would be Chaz. Everyone else, I mean, Alonzo seemed like he was the life of the party. Seemed like he'd be a lot of fun. Mm, Jonathan, it's just that you can tell when they didn't like certain women and they kind of like closed off. And that wasn't cool. And the next week, we see that the men have the control again. And we see Maya throw shade at the women. And it's like, girl, you had all that spillage. Your boobs was not sitting up right in that dress. And you should not have worn that dress. That did not look good at all. And you had the audacity to talk about, as far as looks wise, you don't see any competition with the other women. It's not only about looks. That's not the only thing. And then we see Lamar get into it with someone, the young lady from episode 1, the pharmaceutical rep. I forgot her name. He's going to get into it with her. And then to think that he's going to be safe from elimination after that. Wow. Guys, let's let's get into episode 3 when it comes, because baby, some of these men were not giving. Now, let me ask you this. Me personally, I preferred group 1 over group 2, but I guess, the men, they weren't, if I wasn't feeling the men like that in the other group either. So I don't know. Wow. I, I don't know. This is what we have to work with. Hopefully there are some curveballs and some new people come in and they spice things up. But yeah, why don't you comment below and let me know which group you liked more. Comment a 1 for group 1 and comment a 2 for group 2. I wasn't really feeling a lot of the men in this cast. It's very much lackluster. It just wasn't giving. But I'm ready for episode 3 because I'm curious to see if the groups will mesh, and will they be, cliquish, like, I'm gonna stick with my group, or let them stick with their group. Like, so it'll be interesting to see if splitting the cast up will cause any further drama or issues. But we'll see. So go ahead and comment below. Let me know which group you like better, group 1 or group 2. And let me know, what do you think about the men and the women? Do you feel like these people are ready to love? Do you feel like some of them are ready for sex? Because it seems like they were ready for sex, especially the men. But yeah, that's all I have, because I wasn't all that impressed. Thanks for watching. This is Layton Ali, and I'm signing out.